Struggling to trust your partner? Concerned you'll get hurt or lose connection? In fear of being alone or being left for someone else? Is there nothing they can say or do to reassure you? Worried they'll find someone better, younger, more attractive, wealthier or different? Worrying about a relationship ending can be exhausting. Constantly having to check in, picking up on the slightest changes in behaviour or speech and reading into it, continually seeking reassurance. In the Henschel-Nandrino-Pezzard and Ott study, the influence of attachment styles was investigated on autonomic correlates. 68 participants were divided by secure, insecure anxious, and insecure avoidant attachment styles. The data showed that insecure anxious individuals displayed higher responses than secure individuals when viewing both distressing and comforting pictures. The findings suggest that experiences vary vastly according to attachment styles. When paired with Deb Dana's work on Dr. Stephen Porges' polyvagal theory, data show we have a different view of our situations depending on our autonomic nervous system response. No wonder forming a clear understanding of a relationship and differentiating between intuition and reaction can seem impossible. Luckily, I have a solution, and I promise you it's way less work than you're currently putting in. Dr. Peter Levine discovered the technique of somatic experiencing. It's the practice of observing our precognitive bodily responses, feelings, to situations. We can utilize Dr. Stephen Porges' aforementioned polyvagal theory to classify physiological reactions as predictable responses. When we revisit our past experiences of parental connection and separation, we can understand the creation of beliefs and behaviors to heal our trauma. These are the same responses we have in our adult relationships. Remember, trauma is not what happened, but what we made what happened mean about ourselves internally. By inquiring into this meaning and our worldview through our internal physiological state, we can disconnect from our subjective story and observe events objectively. We can then learn to change our listening, appreciate our partner's needs, and make an informed decision on the relationship's progression. This is how we establish trust. My client feared connection and intimacy because everyone meaningful in her past had broken her trust. Betrayal had become an underlying part of every partnership. Because this worldview was modeled in childhood, we had to experience her interpretation of childhood as an adult. Sam came to me because she was in a place of complete panic about losing her partner. She was anxious all the time, struggling with trust and pushing him away whenever a threat to intimacy arose. We used Sam's physical sensations as an implicit guide to differentiate her feelings from the meaning she'd given them. She could then identify her core belief that she would be abandoned by recognizing the roots of these perceptions. She could only drop her walls and see her relationship with clarity, objectivity, and calmness by experientially exploring her inner child's perceptions. Sam and her partner are now living together happily, raising a family. Now, I'm not promising you a house and a family, but I can share that in every case I've worked on, past programming was getting in the way of connection, clouding people's judgment of their relationships. Clients always find clarity once they heal the past relationships from which they had learned this behavior. Shifting the narrative of our past allows us to explore our authentic self beneath the adaptations of trauma and move forward with sincerity. If you're struggling with trust, intimacy, connection, or feeling anxious in your relationship, fill in the form below to book a free call with me.